This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the Sylvester Stallone superhero movie Samaritan on Amazon Video. Plus, DC Films may have found their guy. The Aquaman and Shazam sequels delayed again. Ezra Miller tries to make good. A potential director may have been picked for Marvel's Fantastic Four movie. She-Hulk and House of the Dragon reactions, and a whole bunch more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, August 29th, 2022.
This is Frank Grillo. You know me. But who are you? Are you the discerning, sophisticated type of person who enjoys all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news? Pop culture references, witty banter? Me neither. I'm just here for the dick jokes.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Talking, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We talking, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hey, what's happening, listener? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, our very own miniature Italian felty stallion. We call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Just call me Ruggy Balboa.
Oh, it's Ruggy Balboa.
Hey, Adrian.
Into your corner.
I got a tattoo of my dog instead of my wife on my shoulder. That's why we're getting divorced.
Is that what?
You hear about that?
Is that the best? Let me hear your best Stallone.
Yo, Adrian. Hey,
Anthony?
my balls are itchy. I don't know.
Hey,
What does he
Anthony,
say?
Let me hear your Stallone.
Hey, you want to get a little, you want to go get like something to eat or something like you want to watch me fight?
That's pretty good.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Yeah.
You just got to mumble a lot.
My ring's outside.
My ring's outside. My ring's outside.
That's brisk, baby. Brisk. Brisk.
You gotta drop your jaw. You gotta let your jaw drop.
Yeah.
That's brisk, baby.
You're almost slurring, and it's barely decipherable. Oh, I heard,
did you hear that?
I heard
Did you hear
something open. What's happening?
Is that a can of brisk, baby?
I don't know if you guys listened to that the Patreon where I got drunk, but I'm drinking the same shit.
Uh-oh.
It's called Cutwater.
Oh,
it
boy.
is 12.5
shit.
percent alcohol by volume, so it's like drinking 4 beers in one.
Yeah.
But it's actually tequila.
Oh, God. All right.
So I predict within about 20 minutes, I will not be able to be understood.
All right.
I'll sound like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you're going to sound just like Stallone.
I'm sounding a little punchy, man.
Has anyone had a can of brisk before?
Is that Lipton iced tea?
Yeah, I've had brisk.
Yeah, brisk,
He
yeah.
did.
Very sweet.
He did iced tea commercials?
Yeah, you don't remember
I
that?
don't remember the brisk commercials.
He would. That's the impersonation where he loves brisk, baby.
It's amazing.
It's brisk.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
You sound kind of like Dean Martin, but
Yeah, I don't do the best Stallone, but
no.
I didn't know that I was doing a Stallone.
I never tried to do it.
I need to listen to him for a little bit and then do it.
You have a good ear for things. Like, you can mimic very well, I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm a good mimicker, but
Yeah.
I gotta hear it first.
Yeah.
I love brisk. The brisk tea is delicious. I used to drink that shit all the time. I forgot. I'm gonna have to look it up.
That's brisk, baby.
All right. Well, we have a finite time before Ruggs is incomprehensible and slurring like Stallone. So let's get to it, shall we?
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Oh, guess what? I got more Warner Brothers Discovery news this week because things keep happening and it's fascinating to watch in real time kind of this changeover of hands, the changing of the guard. Now that David Zaslav is the CEO of combined Warner Brothers Discovery, the big topic, who's going to lead DC Films? Well, they may have found their guy, according to The Hollywood Reporter, says, quote, Dan Lin, the executive turned producer who counts such hits as the live-action Aladdin, the Lego Movie, and the It horror movies among his credits, is in talks to take the role of DC chief. Multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. This role would encompass overseeing not just film, but television as well, with Lin reporting directly to Warner
Whoa.
Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav.
Wow, that makes him like the second man down.
Yes, this structure, it says in the article, he would bypass 3 separate division heads. Warner Brothers Pictures heads, Michael DeLuca, Pam Abdi. Then you have HBO Max chief, Casey Bloys. And then you have Warner Brothers TV chair, Channing Dungey. And all control of DC would be in the hands of one person, a Kevin Feige type,
Wow.
if you will. And he reports right to Zaslav. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dan Lin, never heard of the guy.
Sure.
And there's a reason. He's the behind-the-scenes camera guy, which is why he is just in talks. Nothing's official, but I feel like this might be the guy, because that's the kind of guy you want. Let's take a look at his IMDb. They mentioned a couple of these projects. What do you guys think so far of Dan Lin? Just with he did Aladdin, the Lego movie. And,
Don't know shit about him.
And
I mean,
producing.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, he has done the Sherlock Holmes. He has franchise experience with Sherlock Holmes and the Lego movies.
Okay.
He did produce Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong.
okay.
Executive produced. So here's the one interesting detail to note about the Dan Lin is that he comes with the blessing of one Alan Horn, former Disney chair who is advising Zaslav. And the reason he likes Dan Lin is because he used to work for Alan Horn in the early 2000s. He was in charge of production of a bunch of things. So Alan Horn says Dan Lin is a good pick, which is why I think this is probably going to happen.
If Alan Horn says me, that carries a lot of weight. Isn't he the guy who put Feige in place?
He is. He was Kevin Feige's former boss, and he's the guy who put all that together. So I don't know, Anthony, all that. What do you think? Can this be the Feige?
You hope so. I would hope so. I can't comment enough to say if he's going to be a good producer or not. Just because although I've seen some of those movies, I have no idea if he is a comic book fan or not. I think that's the key: is does he actually like the comics?
Yeah.
Does he read the comics? Does he
understand what they are?
Right. Does he understand these characters? That's the key, because for as much flack as Marvel sometimes gets, I truly do believe that Kevin Feige grew up a comic book reader.
Yeah.
Gives a shit about the overall quality of the product, and gives a shit about what's being put on screen, and having a vision for everything. So I think that's the key for Dan.
I think initially that Feige had a real big good handle on it. So hopefully, like at this infancy, Lin could do the same thing, because like you're starting from the ground, right? That's when you have the most control before it gets out of control. You know,
before it becomes so successful that it proliferates everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he doesn't, right, if he's not a big fan, hopefully he's smart enough to hire people who are, right? That is just as good to know what you know, what you don't know.
I think that's important to hire, but I think the guy at the top needs to actually care about DC.
Yeah.
I think if it was something else, if it was a property where they weren't necessarily if he was just running a film studio but wasn't necessarily creating an interconnected universe, I think you can do that. But I think the guy at the top that's running an interconnected universe needs to actually be a fan of the comics.
He should. You would think you'd have a grasp of it, the whole thing.
They have to do that. Think about this. Feige put all the pieces in place. Came up with the concept of the first what is it called? The first phase of Marvel,
right?
Yep.
Without a lot of the major pieces being in play. A lot of characters missing.
Right.
Like Fox owned a bunch of shit.
No X-Men, no Spider-Man, no Hulk.
DC doesn't have that problem. You can use the comics. You can go to the source and go, you don't have to work around stuff. You can actually start fresh or take what you have and that's working and use it. And right now, there is so much potential here.
There is, but here's the thing. DC has other bigger problems, right? We're talking about Kevin Feige as the equal, what they want. They want him to do the same thing. But let's talk about actually what the job is. It's a little bit trickier than that. Feige had the benefit of starting slowly, building a solid foundation, one movie at a time, taking his time. this guy, whoever takes this job, is not in that position. There is a fantastic article from Variety titled "From Batgirl Fallout to Rebooting Superman: All the Landmines Facing the Next DC Chief." Here's the bullet points in this article. It's fantastic because this is the monumental task this person has to deal with, right? They have to, one, deal with the fallout from the Batgirl cancellation, which will involve mending relationships with talent and people. Two, they have to manage an ongoing and unconnected film and TV projects. It's kind of a mess. Three, they got to figure out what to do with the Flash movie. And then four, they got to figure out what to do after the Flash and after Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Five is to navigate established executive structure at Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers TV. And finally, the most important thing in this article, he has to win over the fans. So that's I don't even know if you want this job. That's a fucking tough job thing right there. How would you handle this, Anthony?
Go ahead.
Or go Ruggs. How would you handle
Ruggs,
it?
go ahead.
I think that the important thing is like you're thinking about too many movies ahead. Just do one good movie.
Yeah.
Just nail one thing. Think about like the broader universe when you do it, but just make one good movie. And then that will, number one, it'll start to change everyone's attitude about DC. You'll set the on the right track. And then you can build on what people, you can see how people react to it and go, okay, we can build off of that. I'm not saying not to have a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to whatever. But I think that trying to do all this giant thing and then it falling apart midway, that's bad.
Yeah.
Nail one movie like Iron Man.
Yeah.
If Iron Man didn't hit,
the
whole Marvel universe would have been stumbling along. It would still go, but it would be limping along. Like, it was a major pillar, right? That held up, like, all of a sudden, all of these people that weren't into Marvel movies were into Marvel movies. Because Robert Downey Jr. pulled all these people in, you know, on a character that nobody knew. Like, I mean, nobody, like, regular people didn't know. So, just got to make one or two really good movies. And that'll set the tone. I think that everyone will start respecting you. People will back off. All of this fallout from Batgirl, all that stuff will start to soften if you just make one really good movie.
You just need to make a good Superman movie with Henry Cavill. Just start there.
I think that's the easy, that's like a layup.
Right?
You can make a whole new Superman. That's fine. You know, but you don't have to. You just have to make a great Superman movie. Like, where the villains actually threaten Superman, where Superman can be like the savior of the world or maybe of another planet or something.
Or his values are there, you know, that we know and love in some fashion. Anthony, you are the head of DC Films and you have all these things you got to fix. What do you do?
I know we're going to talk about this with Aquaman and Shazam, but I do kind of like that they're pushing everything back.
Okay.
I don't know exactly why, but from what I gathered from Zaslav when we talked about Batgirl, he isn't going to release things just to release them, which I think is a good thing to do. So if they think they need to recalibrate things and push it back, I think that's the right move. I completely agree with Ruggs. You got to look at what Marvel did with Iron Man. And they found an actor or an actress, whatever you get, that resonates with people, that people want to see again, and you make a good movie. This is obviously a little different. This is not going to be an easy task because they have things in motion. This isn't going to be an easy job, but I think it starts with just making quality movies, like Rugg said, and going from there. And I think you do need to have a plan. The plan has to focus on every movie we put out, we have to be proud of putting out.
Yeah. You got to be behind it.
Yeah, they got to. I mean, they have work to do. They have a lot of work to do. It's not going to be. This isn't going to be a.
This is a
even
tough
though they
job.
have. Yeah, even though they have all these properties and it's all under one banner, and they can do whatever they want with it. I mean, it's going to be tough because they've got things in motion. They've also got just Marvel.
Yeah.
So you've got the casual fan that might see Shazam, Aquaman come out and go, oh, is that the next Marvel movie?
Yeah.
So they have to rebuild the brand.
Yeah.
It's just, there's going to be a lot of work, but I think it can be done. It can be done as long as they put out good movies.
Yeah, I think that pushing stuff back might be good to see like what's in the tank with Lin, right? They could be like, hey, let's see what Lin's got to offer before we put these movies out. Let's see what he's got to say, or whoever that person is that they're going to hire.
Yeah, you're right.
So even Marvel, though, if
You're right. Let me just say, let me piggyback on that. Maybe they are doing that because they want the producer, whoever they hire, maybe it's Lin, to have his fingerprints on everything. And so maybe they're pushing things back so he can have quality control and look over and go, all right, this is good or this is not good. There needs to be reshoots. So that does kind of make sense. Because it'd be weird to hire a guy and then you still have things in motion that are already coming out.
that's what Walter Hamada had to deal with, and it was probably really frustrating. And he did end up delivering some hits, in recent times. But
That's what makes me think that Lin has it in the bag, is that they're pausing these movies.
Yeah,
like, I don't think that they would pause them unless they had something that could, either add something, or there has to be a reason why they're pausing.
So, let's talk about the movies that are delayed. But I wanted to mention even Marvel out the gate. They do Iron Man, and then they do Hulk. Kind of a hit and a miss, right? They weren't batting 100% either, but they're behind everything. And, they're still referencing that. It's still canon. But it wasn't, so it was a mixed bag. Now, the delays, yes. Warner Brothers has delayed 2 big superhero comic book movies.
One thing real quick. Although it was a mixed bag, Marvel Phase 1 was definitely a mixed bag. You had Iron Man, you had Hulk, which was, obviously an Edward Norton's not even a part of it. Iron Man 2 made money, but not great.
Yeah.
Thor was kind of a mixed bag. Yeah. Captain America, they did well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because they had that overarching plan with Fiege, where literally the end of the first movie is you got the Avenger Initiative, we knew we were building towards something.
Yeah,
so
that's all it took, man. And then you saw that post-credit scene in Hulk, and I was like, oh, shit, they are tying this shit together. They're actually doing this. This is, like, that almost saves the whole movie, is that they put that tag in there.
You put the tags in there, and you're like, as a fan, you're going, well, I got to see the next one. I got to see what's going on.
Yeah. Now, it's a smart thing, and like, if you're DC, you don't want to copy that, but you need something like that, whether it's little breadcrumbs, little Easter eggs, little drops of things. I don't know. The movie's being delayed. Warner Brothers has pushed back James Wan's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the sequel, saying it needs more time in post-production. So it must have been Zaslav saw this, and he's like, this shit ain't ready yet. It is moving from March 17th, 2023 to December 25th, 2023. Christmas. The original Aquaman came out in Christmas 2018 and went on to make $1 billion. So I think that move makes sense. That is smart. This next move also kind of smart. Taking that March 17th slot will now be Shazam, Fury of the Gods. That was originally going to come out this year, December 21st, 2022, 5 days after Avatar 2 hits theaters, which would have been probably death for that movie.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
So this is smart too, because it allows them also to put it in IMAX screens. If in December, you're damn sure all those IMAX screens are gonna be showing Avatar, right? And then the Batman opened in March also and did pretty good, not as well. But those are 2 smart moves, actually, if you think about the reasons. I wasn't mad. This leaves only Black Adam as the only DC movie left. The only DC movie coming out this year will be The Rock.
When is that?
In October.
Got it.
Right around the corner.
Let me ask you this. What percentage chance odds that maybe there's a Henry Cavill Superman cameo in the Black Adam? And maybe this could be the start.
0.
0? No?
I
think it would have leaked by now.
I don't think it's out of the question.
Maybe, but maybe not.
I don't think it's potentially out. I think it's possible.
It could be possible. That would be exciting.
If you're Cavill, do you want Superman or not?
I think you still want to do it. Because that is the most iconic role. And if you can become that role for generations, why wouldn't you want that?
I mean, I think he probably is a little upset about how things turned out, but there's new management there. It looks like they're hiring new people.
Yeah.
I think there might be a part of him. I mean, we're speaking for someone we don't even know, so this is all speculation. But I think if I was in that role, I would say, man, give me just one more shot at really nailing this, because I think I can do it. I just haven't been given the proper platform.
Let me shave my mustache this time.
Then we can put it on.
Let me really
CGI.
do it.
Yes. I'll have the other movie put the mustache back on.
I mean, a lot of people like Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but a lot of people really enjoy Man of Steel, and I think with time having passed by, a lot of people look back at that movie and go, there was something there.
There was something there.
I don't think he was the problem.
No.
Right.
He was not.
I think that the movie and Zack Snyder was the problem.
Yes,
with
so
that.
we are years past that. It's a whole new...
How long
That
ago
was my
that?
first slur, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Racial? No. Oh, just regular. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Be careful. Oh, shit.
Be careful.
Just regular
All right, let's start keeping score.
Superman was what?
2013, 10 years ago.
Holy shit. Almost 10 years ago. Yeah. They've been
Wow.
dicking around
That
with
I didn't even catch the slur.
About
You didn't-
DZ.
If you didn't say that racial slur and point it out after, I would not have heard. I would not have even
I
noticed.
didn't hear it either, but listen back. 30 seconds, you might hear it. Listener, let us know what you think about the Dan Lin, possibly next DC's Kevin Feige. Join the Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. You will meet all of our listeners who hang out there. It's for them. It's closed. It's exclusive. There are spoiler threads for movies and TV shows we are watching. Lots of fun happens in the Facebook group. Okay, continuing on, Warner Brothers. I'll tell you who they want to be in the business with. They want to be in the Matt Reeves business. They are going all in. Matt Reeves and his production company has been given an overall first look deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. He's the first filmmaker under those new heads I just mentioned, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi. He also he's re-upped with Warner Brothers Television with that other tier of Warner Brothers, since he's working on the Batman spin-off series, The Penguin, with Colin Farrell in a fat suit taking a job away from a fat person. But basically, I think you can expect a lot more Batman stuff coming from Matt Reeves. They are a fan of the Matt Reeves.
They had to replace Nolan.
Well, not only that, anything he does, not just Batman. Any ideas?
Right.
They get the first shot.
First look means they get the first shot at making whatever he comes up with.
Yeah.
And so what's the thing he's working on now is, aside from the Penguin, I think that's it, right?
I don't know.
But they had Snyder as their guy, then Nolan was their guy, and now this is their guy. They're kind of throwing all their weight behind this dude. And you know what? It's not a bad pick.
It's not a
He's
bad
good.
pick
at all.
I'm wondering if
He's a good director.
yeah.
Talented dude, probably has a lot in the tank. I don't think he's shown all of his cards yet. You know what I mean? I think he's got more. The Batman, it was not everyone's favorite, but I liked a lot of the stuff.
I'm waiting for a second one. I want to see more. I think they're writing the script now, so I think now with that first one done, like if you think of the Apes trilogy, like I think the second one was very strong, right? Like the middle
They're all
movies,
good.
they're all good. I love War, but I know
But
Anthony.
the second one was
second one's
the best.
Yeah, I know you guys are fans of the second one because there was a lot of world building, a lot of character development, a lot of cool shit.
He also did Cloverfield.
Oh, that's right. He did do the Cloverfield. So no, that's good for him. I bet they want to lock down James Gunn, something similar. They lost Nolan, like you mentioned, so they got to replace Nolan. So good move, picking that guy. And then finally, our Ezra Miller update for the week. Yes, there is one, and this one's crazy. From the Hollywood Reporter headline: Ezra Miller meets with Warner's leadership in The Flash course correct. Apparently he went to the Burbank lot, was walking around, and was trying to save his career, and apologized and just tried to calm everybody down, and said that he is committed to being the Flash. So clearly, after he heard all the options they were planning, he's like, oh fuck, let me go talk to these people. But in-person meeting, so that's a good sign.
Zaslav was like, I'm going to take this movie and put it in the toilet. You'll never see it.
I will flush
unless
this
you
like
fucking do something.
I will flush this like Batgirl.
Yeah.
And Ezra Miller's like, wait, let's not get crazy here.
Yeah,
Like
come on.
that's unprecedented that Zaslav showed his nuts like that. he's like, all right, I'm just shutting movies down that are already finished. Like nobody does that because they already spent the money on the movie. They to put it on like HBO Max just to have some new content on there. But he's like, no, you're not even going to see this
Nobody
shit.
gets nice things.
So like that's major like showing your nuts.
He's the mob. He's a mob boss.
He sounds like a mob guy. He'll just fucking cap
He'll
you.
just break your knee, cap your knees, cap you.
You don't care.
Put you in a trunk. I mean, he's put Batgirl the movie in the trunk.
Yeah.
And just freaking, you'll never see that movie again.
Yeah, you'll just
This movie's
throw it-
sleeping with the fishes.
You just throw it in the foundation of a building that's being
He
built.
put the movie in a bucket with concrete and tossed it into the river. No, I actually heard that they were holding these, like, they call them funeral screenings, secret
Right, I heard
funeral
that.
screenings for the Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Yeah, so people out there have seen it. And again, somebody did say it kind of looks like it was made for television and it's like a big budget CW TV show. I also heard that like the directors, Adil and Bilal, were trying to get some of their footage, and I thought I saw a story that said that they were thinking of deleting the footage instead of putting it in a vault. But you know, I don't think they don't want like a hashtag release the Batgirl cut, whatever fucking thing. But if Zaslav, if he'll have balls, if he actually goes, I am deleting this. This never happened. That would be fucked up because I would feel bad for the people who worked on it. At least just put it in a
I
vault.
don't think he can ever release it. They wouldn't get they'd screw up their tax
Yeah,
write-off.
if he wants the full. So that rumor about deleting it in the article, it said to prove to the IRS that he was committed about taking this full tax write-off, they would delete it as proof. I don't know if that's true or if that's how that works, but yes, if they write it off.
How do you prove it's deleted?
I don't know. Somebody, but if they write it off, they can't monetize on the thing.
I have a USB in my asshole right now with all of all of Batgirl.
So yes. So look, things are looking up, right? They said they got Matt Reeves. They may have a guy. Ezra Miller comes in to talk to him. They're screening Batgirl. I want to end this whole Warner Brothers discussion with actually talking about Zaslav, what he's doing, who it's good for, who it's bad for. I found another great article from The Verge. And this one is titled HBO Max and Warner Brothers Discovery seem to be on fire, and that's on purpose. Basically, I was thinking about, and this article actually articulated a lot of things I was feeling. I didn't know how to say it. Here's the good and bad of what seems to be what Zaslav is doing, right? The pros of David Zaslav. It seems to be he's good for directors. Possibly he's going to let them do their thing. He just signed a deal with Matt Reeves, right? He's going to be good for investors because he wants to make a lot of money as cheap as possible, and the stock has been tanking. He did actually show some leadership and some balls, like we just talked about, fucking pulling lots of things, killing lots of projects, pulling things off HBO Max, things that are finished. And the theater owners are happy with him because he has also moved HBO Max titles to theater releases. However, in this article mentions the marketing cuts to the budget will mean there will be fewer Warner Brothers movies coming out in the next few years. And maybe he's good and back to good for directors, like pushing back Aquaman. He wants things to be good before they're out. Now, the cons from a consumer point of view, I think we're going to feel the cons the most because he could be bad for fans, consumers who like different, risky, smaller types of programming, that they will take a chance on. And he's not there to better our entertainment landscape or culture. He is just there to make money. Make no mistake about it. And he will be catering to the largest possible audience with predictable and cheap content.
But I kind of object to that a little bit because in order to put someone in charge of DC, say this is your flagship property IP,
yeah,
and then basically say that they only answer to the top guy and not all these other fuckers that can fuck shit up.
That's a good thing.
I feel like that's different. And it might be good for the content, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, here's the thing. I think your pros and your cons, they have validity. Here's the bottom line. The company has to make money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the company goes out of business and no one can make any more, and less content is out.
Then nothing comes out.
Then nothing comes out from Warner Brothers. Nothing comes out from HBO Max. So you want your guy to running that's at the top of the business to worry about making money, because making money ensures that the people still working there have jobs, and the people that want to make movies have another outlet to make movies,
even at the cost of quality.
I don't. Who knows if it's at the cost of quality? Why do you think it's? Why is making less the cost of quality?
No, it's not making less. If you look at what he did with Discovery, he made them money by putting cheap reality shows up and cloning them and copying them.
You think he's going to put reality shows up for DC? You think that's really his plan?
But I mean, that's what cheap content is. If he wants to cut back,
I don't think. I mean, I think it seems to me he's focused on.
The minute that he puts reality content in HBO exclusively, like that's the end of HBO. That's not the brand.
The minute Chip and Joanna Gaines show up on HBO.
Yeah. I think that's taking it a step too far. Okay. I think the guy's got to be smart enough to know that you can't just have everything be reality TV. What it seems like to me is he just doesn't want to put things out for the sake of putting things out.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the model, not only for HBO, but all the streamers were just acquiring content, investing a shit ton in content, and just putting things out because, hey, we need new content. We need content. We're just going to put things out. That was the Netflix model. That was what all these guys were doing. And you're slowly realizing that, hey, maybe that model isn't actually all that profitable, because half the shit we're putting out costs us money and no one's watching it. No one's subscribing to HBO Max to see the freaking. What was it? The dog movie that they were going to put out with DC. Like no extra subscribers were coming into Super Pets or whatever the hell they were going to do. So like, you got to be smart about.
However, during like that last year, the move that lost them a lot of money to put out your major movies day and date release in the theaters and on HBO Max. Yes, it cost them money, but on this side, how amazing was it that you could watch Godzilla versus Kong and Dune in your own nice little fucking theater? Like, that was great. That was great for the consumer. So maybe he needs a balance of this. I'm a little worried about the quality of the content.
It was good for the consumer, but is it good for the consumer that now they've ruined all those relationships with all those studios?
Well, the way they did it was not good. So yeah, that was not good. Speaking of which, that'll tie.
I think that's a classic short-term gain, long-term. Not actually all that good for you.
It may have gotten them some more subscribers, but how do those people going to stick around? How much really was it's not offsetting the cost of two huge movies?
Right now, I'm not saying I completely believe in the guy. I just think the guy, it's at the very least, he seems to have a plan, and he's doing things his way, and he's not afraid to do things his way.
I don't think that DC's course, if they would have stayed the course, is going to be a better story.
It was not No, it was not going anywhere. It was
there
a mess.
Needed to be a shakeup.
Yeah. So to tie into that, I want to share this tweet you just shared with us moments before we started recording, talking about talent and relationships and who's working with you, from the Twitter account at Culture Crave, sharing via at The Ankler. It says Legendary Entertainment is planning to move on from Warner Brothers and make movies with either Sony or Paramount. So there is the two movies I just mentioned, Dune and Godzilla vs. Kong. They did not let Legendary know they were going to do this. There was nothing in the contract, and I think they tried to sue to get Dune in the theaters. So they've gained a Matt Reeves, but possibly might lose a Legendary. Is it a wash? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a Legendary is a lot bigger than Matt Reeves.
That's true. So that's a bigger deal. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, I think
Legendary is, it has some things under its belt. It has the Nolan movies.
Yeah, I was just going to read some of them off if you want me to.
Yeah, what do they got?
Read the pedigree.
We got The Begins. Batman Begins was Legendary. Superman Returns. Wow. Lady in the Water. 300. Dark Knight. Watchmen. The Hangover. Jonah Hex. Wow. Clash of the Titans. Sucker Punch. Dark Knight Rises. Man of Steel. All the Hangovers. Godzilla. So they have a pretty decent
hits and
amount
a couple of
movies.
clunkers, but mostly hits there.
But yeah, it's all movies that you've heard of.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, Hangover was huge for Warner Brothers.
And
Jurassic World, Straight Outta Compton was Legendary.
Is that what? That was the title.
But isn't Dune also?
Dune is, yes, you were right.
Yeah.
Correct, Dune.
Yeah.
So
So
Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu. I know a lot of people like that. Black Klansman.
Fuck, they gave him a lot of good movies, so that'll really hurt if Legendary jumps to Sony or Paramount. I don't know who has more money.
What do you think is the better move, Sony or Paramount?
Who has more money out of Warner Brothers, Sony, and Paramount? That's where I would go.
If you're talking Sony, they don't have a direct.
They don't have a streamer.
They don't have a distribution.
Yeah, so it would be a movie only. It would be a theater only.
Or they would license it to other streamers.
Well, they have a deal, I think, with Netflix after, and then I think Disney actually. So if you're Legendary, you could do that. I mean, Legendary, even though they had the deal with Warner Brothers, they were still not exclusive. They were doing stuff with Netflix and Universal.
Yeah.
I mean, it would seem to me you'd want to go to Paramount because they have their own distribution, they have their own platform. But I saw that tweet and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is probably a piece of what a leftover, a reaction to what they did last year when they screwed everybody and threw everything on.
Yeah, they're probably like, they fucked us over so bad.
Yeah.
And it didn't
box
have
office.
Yeah, it didn't have to be. You could have made the consumers happy and your talent happy. You just fucking did that without a knee-jerk reaction. But
here's some upcoming Legendary movies.
Yeah.
Enola Holmes 2. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that is the
that's Sherlock Holmes' sister.
with Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown.
Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
The untitled Godzilla Kong sequel.
Yeah.
Right.
Christmas Story Christmas. Duke Nukem. Gundam.
Oh, holy shit! They're doing video and anime. Oh, video games and anime movies. Jesus.
Yeah. So Legendary they do some big stuff.
I like their stuff. I mean, I always, odds are you see that Legendary logo in the beginning of the movie. I
think Legendary tries to go hard each time.
100%.
Yeah. They don't. If they're going to make a fucking popcorn movie, they make a fucking popcorn movie. It's not some fucking flaccid ass popcorn. They make a real popcorn movie. So if they're making 300, they're making fucking 300.
They're going all in.
100%.
They're going balls in. Yeah.
They do. They don't skimp around. They want to make a splash every time with whatever genre they're playing in.
Are their movies great all the time? No, but I mean, they swing. They take a big swing.
They go for it. Yeah. Listener, check out our TeePublic shop if you want to pick up a nice graphic tee with a Rug Boy's face on it, or a tank top, or a hoodie, or a cell phone case, or a travel mug, or a regular coffee mug. Lots of fun stuff, different designs at our shop, jockandair.com/shop. We'll get you there. All right, let's finish the news. I do have some MCU Marvel news.
Geek boner.
To wrap up with. So this is a piece of rumor that I saw floating around, and I'm sure this is something Disney would rather have waited and released on their D23 that's coming up very soon, like 2 weeks, September 9th, I think. But Deadline is reporting WandaVision director Matt Shakman in talks to helm Marvel's Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this is very interesting. So, Matt Shakman's done a lot of television. WandaVision was pretty great. I thought it was good. And he hasn't done a lot of film. Comments on this, anyone? Anthony, Matt Shakman.
I like it a lot.
Yeah? Why?
I also like it.
Oh, tell us why.
Here's why I like it. Because out of all those Disney Plus shows, you would definitely say that WandaVision was the most unique.
Yeah.
They had the most directorial things going for it. He went for a style.
Yeah.
It had everyone talking. I think the ending... I don't know if the ending was necessarily his fault or more just because of what the circumstances of how they were filming it and COVID.
Yeah.
Then you throw in the fact that Fantastic Four kind of has a throwback feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
And you've already got a guy that did some TV shows and clearly put some time and effort into researching how a throwback TV show should feel. I like it.
I mean, this guy's directed everything from Game of Thrones to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? So he can handle drama, he can handle comedy. Ruggs, why do you think this is a good pick? If it's true?
I think it's irrelevant who directs this movie because it's a Marvel, it's a Marvel product, and Fantastic Four lends itself to be them in that way because it's a very Marvel-y movie. Yeah, it's a very Marvel-y thing. It's like
Marvel's first family.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that's going to fit into the formula, it's going to be this. Like Marvel's formula is going to work fine for this. So he's a Marvel formula guy.
Absolutely.
He does have his own strengths and weaknesses that we saw in WandaVision. So I understands the characters to a degree, acting wise. I think that, well, you look at the director, can they elicit good performances from the actors? Can they get good takes? And can they use those takes? Those are all things that, like, that's basic direction.
That's really all the directors do on Marvel movies.
I
right?
mean, and everybody else, like, there's other guys that do all the action sequences and, like, previs everything. So, yeah, performance-wise, WandaVision, like, the whole entire show revolved around that performance, right? So,
I mean, the show got Emmy nominations. I like when they promote from within. He already has a good relationship with Fiege.
So, am I, like, bowled over by it? And am I like, oh my God, this is genius? No, but I think it'll suffice. It works to me, so it's fine.
Yeah, the visual effects, the shit is on rails, right? Like we talked about. So you just need a guy to yell action and cut and just get the emotion, get people to emote. I'm okay. I think, I like you guys' reasons.
Would I have liked to have a more visionary person behind it? Of course, but I think that this is going to be par for the course,
I mean, it's no Sam Raimi, but it's visionary enough. So on the heels of that, there was a couple of rumors about casting in the Fantastic Four, and I think this is probably there was another whole thing. Somebody revealed all the things that Marvel is planning to announce at, I was going to bring that up, maybe next week. All the things that they're planning to announce at D23 has apparently gotten out. The cast of Fantastic Four is probably one of them. But one rumor that was debunked was this guy, Penn Badgley, who's from that show You, to play Mr. Fantastic. But I think that rumor was not true. But then there's follow-up rumors for Sue Storm, and the candidates include Lily James and Jodie Comer.
Right.
Lily James, who played Pam Anderson in the Pam and Tommy Hulu show, was great. I think she would be.
She's really talented. She could pull it off. No problem.
Yeah, I think she'd be a great pick. Anthony, what do you think of those possible Sue Storm rumors? Lily James.
I don't know anything about those characters. That's why I didn't. I don't know anything about those actresses. Lily James was in the Hulu show, right?
Yeah, she played Pam.
Hot.
Yeah, she's
a very good looking woman.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know anything about them.
Jodie Comer has been in a bunch of things. What is she?
Amanda Seyfried. I know that name.
Jodie Comer. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Cerise, or how do you say her name?
Cersei? No.
Sorsha.
Yes. It's said in a way that's not how it's not spelled, but she's a really good actress. I like her a lot.
Philippa Sue from Hamilton. She's okay. I know who that is.
Actually, there's some pretty good names here.
Oh, Vanessa Kirby also for Sue Storm would be great. I love Vanessa Kirby.
Cerise Ronan or Vanessa Kirby. I mean, those are two of the bigger, really good actresses. So, I mean, as this article states, I don't know all these names, but I know enough of them to go, these are all good picks. I'd be surprised I'm honestly surprised that they're in the running, these names.
Lily James is my front runner. I think that she's the right age and she can do it.
I love Vanessa Kirby. That's a good one. I love her in the Mission Impossible movies.
Right. She's also. I think she still feel like she's too old.
Oh,
possibly. But I mean, Pieces of a Woman. She's fucking.
Oh yeah, she's in that too. Jodie Comer was in Free Guy most recently.
Yeah,
actually. What's her name? Vanessa Kirby and Lily James are basically the same age, 33, 34.
Oh, they are. See, Ruggs?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up. Any of those names, though, I think would be...
Amanda Seyfried's 36.
Yeah.
What about Cerise Ronan? I like her a lot, too. She's a really damn good actress.
She is very good.
She's 28, so she's pretty young.
Saoirse Ronan, the girl from Little
Saoirse Ronan, right? Is this I forgot how you say that.
Saoirse.
Who is this last one?
Vanessa Kirby?
No. There was a Kim one.
I don't. Where's that one?
Philippa Sue.
Philippa Sue she played the sister, the wife in Hamilton. She's a great singer. I don't know if I would pick her. I haven't seen her act in anything else, but she's talented.
No, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Visually, but I just don't think she looks like Sue Storm.
Yeah. No, maybe. I agree. That's what I thought too. But yeah, Lily James and Vanessa Kirby would be great. Amanda Seyfried would be great. So I think we're gonna get a lot of things more. I can't wait for D23.
What about Jessica Alba?
No, she had her time.
No,
she had her time.
She can still do it.
Wasn't even blonde. She's wearing a wig. She can
Who
still
do they
do
have
it.
as the last one? Fan Four Stick.
Oh, that
What
was
the name of the actress?
that was the sisters.
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara.
Mara, yeah.
And what's their sister's name? There's
Rooney Mara.
and Kate Mara. The sisters
I think
look
that
similar.
yeah.
From House of Cards was and she, you know what? She wasn't blonde either, but whatever. That movie is confusing.
That movie, she has about 4 or 5 different hairstyles because they brought her in to do millions of reshoots.
Oh yeah. Then there's a wig and it changes.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on? Oh, what a mess. So, he's got, the bar is pretty low for Matt Shakman, I guess, to make a good Fantastic Four movie. Should be fine.
Yeah, the bar is super low.
Should be fine. All right, let's take a quick break here, play some promos. We come back and talk about Stallone in a new movie as a superhero right after this.
Lots of brisk, baby.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs, It Comes at Night, and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is The Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week, we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before it, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
In a world of heroes, villains, 6 British actors will come together to play Pathfinder. It's sort of like D&D, but also really not like D&D. Join Falter.
I immediately regret this decision!
Karagor.
Oh, I see you, Kenneth.
Velda.
Behold my arcane powers!
Shania.
Yes, I've cracked the case!
M.
No, kill him.
And the Danchin Master for an actual play podcast that takes adventure seriously. Available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and from DangerClubPodcast.com. Danger Club, let's roll. God, doing that voice hurts.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and don't know what to do with yourself or your money, you should join our fan club. Support the show. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support monetarily or annually, and we love all support. It ensures that hosting maintenance fees are paid, hosting costs are paid, the show comes out, and you get stuff like, for example, a bonus podcast feed where the shows come out early and we post bonus content. And right now, it's a place where we're just going to post audio of Rug Boy reading things and getting drunk as he's reading things. We should do that. We should get you to read a book and while you're drinking.
Oh, okay.
It's just audio of drunk Rug Boy. Who doesn't want to hear that? No, there is a bonus. There is actually fun bonus item on the Patreon feed. Our buddy, the Ginger Geek, Matt Delhauer, has submitted a What the Fuck Happened to Constantine addendum.
Whoa.
Addendum. A look into the superhero
Lady
movies.
Antebellum?
Lady Antebellum. What is that, country? Fuck those people.
Yeah.
A dental dam?
A dental dam. Remember
Who's
that
doing
in
oral?
sex class where they pulled out the dental dam?
Did you anybody ever use one of those?
No, I'm like, wait,
ever?
you're supposed to do what with that? Get out of here. That's not real. You just made that up.
Who took that one serious? I want to know the guy. Look, if any of you out there have ever used a dental dam, please write it in the comments. I want to know all about it.
A vinyl company, and he was just pushing product, leftover scraps of fucking
Yeah, it sounds
plastic.
like made up shit that no one.
Anyways, this addendum, Delhauer, to his credit, it felt like he didn't do quite enough research into what the fuck happened to Constantine. So he's giving you some more bonus content just on our Patreon.
Did he fuck up, or is he just adding more?
No, he's adding more. He's got a little more thoughts about.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Maddie would fuck up.
It was a great. It was a great. What the fuck happened? And he just added more about like the state of comic book movies in the 2000s, how we got there, how this thing got made. It's good. It's bonus for it's bonus content. We also have Discord benefits. We hang out there once a month. This next month, September's Discord hangout will be Thursday, September 22nd at 8 p.m. And then we have a You Pick It tier where you can force us to watch any Patreon movie, and we will watch it and review it. We're going to do some of those in the upcoming weeks. We got to get back to knocking some of those out. But there's so much shit to watch, like this week's review on it is the Sylvester Stallone Amazon Prime Video movie Samaritan. Here are your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Yes, Stallone back on the little screen in a movie. This is brought to you by MGM and Balboa Productions. So he's starring and producing it. On Rotten Tomatoes, currently the movie is sitting at a 37% thermometer. Straight 5 out of 10 average rating. Audience giving it 78%. Yeah. So
really?
Yes.
Wow.
So this movie is directed by Julius Avery, who you may know as the director of such movies as Overlord and Son of a Gun. Hasn't done many movies, actually, to tell you the truth. But starring, of course, Sylvester Stallone as Joe Smith and a young boy, his young boy partner. That sounds wrong. Javon Wana Walton playing Sam. You also have Pilu Esbake as the bad guy Cyrus. How do you, this guy, Pilu Esbake? What's that?
Euron Greyjoy.
Euron, is that him? Oh, yep. Euron Greyjoy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was the brother who came over.
Came back, yeah.
Yeah. So in his name, though, he has one of those letters. It's ASB, and then it's the A backward. It's the A with the E smushed together. K.
Yeah, I don't know how you say that.
How do you pronounce
Danish.
Asbake. I don't know how you sound pronounce.
They gotta have it on Wikipedia. They gotta have the phonetics.
I'm not sure how you pronounce an A attached to an E, but that's how you pronounce it. And Martin Starr, barely in the movie, providing a little bit of comic relief. Who remember from Spider-Man and Silicon Valley and such things. And there's some other people we'll get to, but really, it's Stallone in his 70s. Anthony, what happens in The Samaritan?
This is a movie about a superhero, or two superheroes that came out of two beings that came out of the womb with superpowers. They were twins, but they didn't look alike, so they were, I forget which classification of twin that is. Yeah, there we go. And people decided to burn down their house while they were kids because they were afraid of them, sort of like Frankenstein. One ended up being good, the other one ended up being bad. The one was named Samaritan, the good one, and the other one was Nemesis, the bad one. They would fight all the time. And a long time ago, they fought to the death and supposedly killed each other. And there's been no superheroes since. But now crime is starting to pick up again. And this kid really loves Samaritan and has been looking for Samaritan and thinks he's found him in the form of Sylvester Stallone as an old man.
As a garbage man.
Basically, the movie is this kid trying to entice the Samaritan out of Sylvester Stallone's character because crime is happening and he wants him back to help save the city.
Granite City, a made-up city also.
Yes.
Yeah, and he just happens to live across the street from the kid. It's pretty convenient. Anthony,
yes.
Watching this at the end, how'd you feel? What'd you think?
You know, we've been on the 80s, and now I'm watching some 90s movies, and we've been on the action movie track for a little bit here, so I wouldn't say I was anticipating this movie, but I was kind of looking forward to it. And I really, really wanted to love this movie, but it's just not good. It's just not good. It's just not good. The only two things I can say that are redeeming about this is it kind of doesn't bring a tear to my eye, but it's just always nice to see one of your childhood heroes, Sylvester Stallone, still on screen.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking shit up. And some of the action scenes towards the end are kind of fun, but overall the movie's has a superhero plot that they have a lot of things that they kind of touch on, but it's very surface level. They don't really get into much of it. There's a twist you see a mile coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't actually ramp up the act. It's kind of a slow, boring movie for a lot of it. Yeah. And the kid is really annoying. So there's just not a lot to like about this movie, unfortunately. And I wanted to love it. The villains are pretty one note. Even if this was back in the 80s, I don't think this would have been that great of a film. And you throw it around 90s. Now, and you throw it on now, and it's just the standards are way too high, and it's just not good. I'm sorry.
Rugs,
guys, go ahead.
Yeah, back.
Yeah, I thought Will Smith was great in this movie about a homeless dude who was just really secretly a super. Oh wait a minute, that's the other movie. Oh, that's Hancock. This is The Samaritan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw this movie came out already.
Yes. First of all, yes.
but there was no kid. This one has the kid in it.
You gotta
Was
have
there
a kid.
There was a kid in Hancock too, but like,
But it wasn't like a
I don't
buddy, young man, old,
Yeah,
young and old mentor guy kind of thing.
yeah, like okay, this movie was just poorly conceived. It was ill conceived. Like I wanted to actually know what the fuck was going on, but they never even tried.
No.
Like, what is he? Is he a mutant? Like, what the hell happened? Why them? Like, I was like, oh, what happened? Like, and they just never even tried. Then the bad guy is like a human. Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, how is Cyrus
to this guy who's fucking superhuman?
What is motivating him?
Well, why is he?
Why does he have those grenades? Like, what is this grenade thing that they keep doing?
Why is he a shitty Bane? He's just Bane, right? He wants to throw the city
in
into
the same jacket.
Yeah,
he's definitely Bane. I didn't even think of that, but he's doing this whole thing where he wants to shut down the city because of Nemesis, like because he wants to follow in Nemesis' footsteps. But why? And he briefly touches on, well, Samaritan he didn't even save us. He never cared about the
poor.
Yeah. And that could be an interesting angle, right? Like the superheroes always are out there, but they're never actually caring about the people that need the help the most, but they don't really ever dive into that. So it's not even, there's nothing deep about that.
There's a much better movie in here somewhere, but they didn't
There
even
is
get
a
close.
lot of interesting concepts, even with that twist and how it ends.
I'll tell you when I stood up and said to my TV, I said, what the fuck is going on here? Hey, there's a drop. Anyway.
It's called a drop, millennial.
What? It was when the bad guy like stood on top of the truck and like started saying like, oh, I'm gonna bring back, and everybody started cheering. I'm like, that's not what would have happened. What the fuck's going on? Like they start
Nemesis.
Like they immediately start chanting Nemesis. I'm like, no, you got to do something to lead up to that.
Every time he puts on that mask, and the one time he puts on the mask and he's by himself and he's found out that Samaritan is Nemesis, he still puts on the mask and like grunts. He goes, roar! And it's like, did the mask empower him? Like, what is going on? Why is he grunting in an empty room by himself? I'll tell you the moment where it lost me. This is good, Ruggs. That's a good segue for me to do that as well. The moment I went, this movie just completely lost me. Is so that little kid gets beat up and gets his arm broken with the wrench,
right?
And Stallone's character pushes him in the cart, finds him, and gets him in the car and takes him to the hospital. And the mom goes, so you didn't stop the kids? And he's like no. And she's like, some kind of hero you are. And it's like, who wrote this? He had nothing. How could he have stopped the kids? He wasn't even there. He found your son and brought him to the hospital for you, and you're going, some kind of hero you are. Oh, thanks, lady. I could have just left them for dead. What the fuck was I supposed to do?
So
I was like,
that's
what
great.
the hell?
That's great. The part that I was like, get the fuck out of here, is when the kid out in the daylight just breaks into Stallone's apartment and steals shit, and like there's no consequences. Like he didn't even really care. I was like, really? Right in the middle, you just move this dumpster and climb into the window. Nobody said anything. The city is so over the top poor, like it's like a fucking caricature of like a ghetto. So yes, I also thought this is like a generic mashup of lots of superhero tropes you would have saw in the 90s and the 2000s. Kind of has like a throwback feel a little bit.
It throws back to Hancock.
And then like 90s movies.
2002.
It throws back 20 years. It checks all the superhero boxes, doesn't do anything new. It's barely a superhero movie at all.
I don't think it checks all the boxes.
No.
I think that it barely has an origin story. It barely has, like, you don't need an origin story, but you need to, like, at least world build a little bit.
When you say checks all the boxes, I think that's the problem with this movie. It doesn't check any of the boxes for anything.
Okay.
It's not a superhero movie. It's not a full-on action movie.
Yeah.
It's not a great mentorship kid movie. It's cursory, all of those things, but none of really any of those things.
Like the scene where he tries to teach him how to fight.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
And the kid already knows how to fight. And he starts shadow boxing. Like, well,
What a waste of time.
And Stallone's like, well, where'd you learn that? Oh, my dad, he taught me before he died, but I'm afraid to use it. It's like, what the fuck?
Stallone makes so many
And the
weird
kid-
faces in this movie.
The kid is like so weird. He loves superheroes, but then they keep having him also be like street smart and wanting to participate in crime. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. What is motivating this kid? What is he doing?
I don't know. I don't think I think that when they sat down and made the deal to make this movie, they're just like, look, Sly, we're gonna shoot you and you're gonna be kicking ass. And he's like, all right, I'll do
he
it.
barely is kicking ass.
And they did do that.
Yeah.
They did make him kick ass, and it was the dude is like 70, I don't know, 70 something years old, like 75, 76.
Wow.
Dude, a 76-year-old doesn't really move like
He's
that.
throwing
And
people.
and it's cool to see that they can even make the illusion happen of me believing that Sylvester Stallone can still kick someone's ass.
Well, there's lines in there where he was like, you got to put in a line that makes me look tough. And he's like, I told you I was built like a tank. Don't punch me in the stomach. Like, he's just, and he's pretty bad. I mean, he looks cool. I like his beard.
The look is nice. I mean, he's full on mumbling throughout the movie.
He's mumbling.
again.
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
I feel like he was a little bit bored in this movie, maybe. He's barely trying.
You can tell the guy's totally collecting a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy seeing him on screen,
Yeah.
but the guy does not care about this movie. at
No,
all.
he's just like, okay, I'll stand here.
Oh, you want me to stay with that kid? Oh,
So
I don't even like the kid.
here's how you know what you're getting into, right? This is the common thing. If a movie opens with a voiceover explaining things, I'm like, what fucking year is this? So that whole setup you said about the two brothers and the explosion, that is all told by the kid in voiceover over this animated comic book filter sequence. And I'm pretty sure that you can right now, I could buy an After Effects plugin that's called comic book filter and make that same shit, make it look like that on my computer. I was like, really? You're using the fucking...
It's totally a canned effect.
Yeah.
It's gonna look kind of cool.
You're using this fucking canned comic book filter? What the fuck? And then the other thing that lost me was like the Nemesis made a hammer forged out of pure hate. Okay,
Yeah.
what does that mean? I'm not sure.
I don't know what that meant either.
I don't know what that meant.
I don't know, but it sounds cool,
It
man.
sounds fucking
I don't know what it meant,
extreme.
and then the fact that the villain can use it and it somehow
It's the works.
powers him enough
Yeah.
to the same strength to the other guy.
Yeah.
You know, because Nemesis at one point, so the twist, obviously Samaritan is Nemesis.
Yeah, put the twist out there.
So the twist throughout the movie is we think Samaritan killed Nemesis, but actually Stallone's character is Nemesis. He killed
Nemesis.
Samaritan, and then he realized that he didn't, want to do this anymore, and just went into hiding, and then gets pulled out of, has his heartstrings pulled by this kid, and the kid brings him out of retirement and makes him start doing the right thing. So, the one line where he does go, "You keep calling me the good guy,
Yeah.
but I'm the bad guy."
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I like the line.
yeah, that's
but who does anyone not see that twist coming?
No.
Oh, yeah, I called
Yeah.
it like immediately.
Right,
I was like,
immediately.
oh, he's not
He's
him.
fucking
Immediately.
Nemesis. And I do like how the kid at the end decides to not tell anyone and goes, Samaritan lives. So he kind of makes him into Samaritan. Little, I don't know.
Yeah, that was
redemption,
okay. But
whatever.
the kid should have died from carbon monoxide and poisoning when they were in that fucking burning building for 20 minutes.
About that burning building, I will say this movie meanders for 2/3 of the movie. The majority of the movie, I'm like, where the fuck is this going? Nothing
the
is
action?
happening. Where is the action? There's barely any action. You see in the trailer. But I gotta say, that last half hour in the burning building, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, they're doing something. This is actually, it's kind of
Yeah,
good.
you know what? There was more action than I thought there was going
It's
to be.
all in the last
I
half
thought
hour.
there was going to be hardly anything,
Yeah.
and they actually closed it out. At least they went hard at the
They
end, but
kind of
like,
did.
which gives it a little bit of a a little perk. But like, yeah, this movie was fucking crazy bad,
Really bad.
and well, I had another point to make, but I fucking forgot it now. But whatever.
If you think of
we'll
it,
come
just
back
say
to
it, because what I'll say is it's not that ending it's fun action, and again, very fun to see Sly still doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the hour and 20 minutes that it took to get there.
No,
So I think a lot of people's excuses when they make comic book movies is they're like, well, like we can make a movie that doesn't explain anything because like back in the day they never fucking explained
Right.
anything and you guys swallowed it down and thought it was awesome, blah blah blah. But they used to think that comic books were only for little kids, like little kids that believe in Santa Claus. Shit that doesn't make sense. They just buy into it. There's a hammer that's made out of fucking hate. And that's it.
Yeah. You don't explain
But
it.
now there's fucking intelligent people watching this. There's intelligent people that are along for the ride, and you can't insult them too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we were talking about this last week. Why do we let the older movies?
Yeah.
Why do we let the older ones slide? Because at that time, these movies were made, like Joel Silver said, for a 13-year-old boy, and now you got like 40-year-old men who can fucking, or 30-year-old men in Anthony's case, like who have some intelligence or a modicum of like even be able to rationalize and critique things. You got to rise to the occasion. You can't just pull shit like this off and be like, "Hey, it's a movie. Yeah, watch it, you stupid assholes," and like expect us to enjoy it, not like know that it sucks. Yeah. So I don't know. That's what they're doing, and it's annoying sometimes when you're watching it and you're like, "Are they fucking not even going to try and explain this fucking hammer?"
Yeah.
Like, this dude is a human being fighting a superhero. How is that going to work?
Yeah, I didn't understand how he was
also. This just one little quirk. Does Stallone just have a thing about being weird with food? Because Cobra cuts the pizza with the scissors.
Yeah.
This one, he's eating cereal with apple juice in it.
Yes, I noticed he poured apple juice in. He's like Nick Cage with the M&Ms and the martini glass. Like, what the fuck is going on? That was strange.
That's maybe his like little thing. Maybe the guys that are making it are Cobra fans and they wanted to do something like.
Can I have a food thing? Can I have a food thing?
I mean, the ice cream was one
How many
thing.
Stallone food things are there?
We should go look into that. I don't remember him eating in.
Can ask Bilotti, he'll know.
In First Blood, he just wanted a meal. He never got it, so there was no food in that. We got to find out. But that is a good point, Anthony. I never noticed that he's got a weird food thing.
Weird food thing, and then the
Tango and Cash. Does he order anything weird?
I don't.
Well, he just makes a ton of
burrito.
He just makes a ton of.
I mean, he eats the cocaine.
He does eat the cocaine, and he'd also. Oogles like his sister, which is kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say they also do this weird thing where he overheats when he gets hit with the car.
Yeah, and
he goes through an entire fight, then overheats at the end, and the kid just sprays him with water and goes, "Get up, you can do it." And he just gets up and he's like, "Oh, I'm fine now." I was like, well, you just played up this whole thing where if he overheats, he's going to die. I thought you were going to kill him.
He's in a burning building now, and this should be a problem. Did you catch? He had the one line. He had one-liners in this movie, and they're so
I caught
bad.
the one. I wrote it down.
Where the guy hits the bombs that make no sense, and he shoves it into his stomach or something, and then he goes, "Have a blast."
I liked it. I liked the line. I thought it was funny. I laughed. I went, "Oh, that's Stallone was like, you got to throw in one."
That was great.
I haven't said this one in a movie.
That was great. I was like, "Oh shit, he's got one-liners." They're so
did
bad.
You catch the scene where this was very small, but the kid's eating the ice cream on his couch?
Oh yeah.
He gets pissed off for no reason, kicks the kid out. It cuts to the kid putting the ice cream on the couch and leaving.
Yeah.
And they cut immediately, and the ice cream's on the side table.
Oh really?
Yeah. They just
jumping around.
They just move it. Yeah, just terrible editing.
And I mean, it's really silly that ice cream helps cool his body, and that's all he eats is ice cream. Okay, okay.
It's that easy. You just have some ice cream.
Holds me down and shove ice cream. And also, the other thing that reminded me of the throwback is when he puts the hammer, like the hammer's got like a rope that you could throw it over your shoulder. And I just thought of Steel and Shaq. And I was like, oh, man. Maybe I'd watch Steel.
What did you think? What did you think of deep fake Stallone?
Oh, when they do go to the flashback and they show him and they de-age him, and it looked really bad. It was looking weird.
It looked like The Sims.
Yeah,
it looked like video games. Stallone.
It looked very, very not good.
Like, you know when you watch play like The Last of Us or like fucking Metal Gear Solid. That's what he looked.
Yeah, that one. That was one of those where they should have cut to him being young and not lingered on it like they did.
Yes.
They did like a full 10 to 15 seconds and zoomed in to get his full reaction to killing his brother. And you just didn't need to do that.
Of course, he's Nemesis. And then Martin Starr is this author who has a conspiracy theory, but you don't find out what the theory is. He doesn't do anything. What was the point of his whole character? I don't know.
Yeah, what does he do exactly?
I don't know. And
he just validates that he found the Samaritan.
Yeah, the kid bothers him, and every old person he meets, and fucking Joe just happens to live across the street. Like, what? Okay, all right.
I think I wrote down an hour 4 in. This movie hasn't picked up yet. I was writing down my live thoughts.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I wrote down, I'm now annoyed of the kid.
He was on the last season of Umbrella
I
Academy.
first wrote down. I don't know if
that
I
you
like
did
the kid.
that.
Yeah,
You should do that every time.
I should start doing that.
You
I
should
wrote down-
timestamping when shit pisses you
Yes,
off.
right when it hits.
I after the kid gets hurt,
Yeah.
I wrote down. I don't know if I like the kid, and then later I wrote down. I'm now annoyed of the kid.
Was he supposed to be annoying? I don't think so. Because
He just was just not. He was just. It just. They had no chemistry together.
yeah.
You didn't like the kid. The kid's motivations were all over the place.
Oh, remember on the roof with the mom?
Oh, that's so bad.
The mom was like trying to like be like tough.
Oh yeah,
yes.
they were running and she was gonna fight him. And then
She was-
gets
Don't make
smacked
me turn
around.
to a different person.
Yes,
And I'm
she
like,
says something like that. I was like, oh, and then
Really?
he slapped the shit out of her, and then the next scene where you see her, she's just been laying in her apartment, just waiting for Stallone to show
Oh,
up. It's like, call
yes.
the fucking cops! You're just laying in your kitchen with your door open.
They have Sam.
Yeah, you got to get him.
Fucking yeah. Okay,
Oh, it's just.
it's not good.
I have to re-emphasize. I really wanted to like.
I
this
know.
movie.
I was looking forward to seeing Stallone.
It was a nice little diversion for a little while,
Mhm.
but upon thinking about it, it just infuriates me how they just think that people who watch these movies are just idiotic and they won't.
Yeah. Right.
And you don't even have to try. Like, you gotta at least try. Like, look, if you're not gonna at least try to deliver with a coherent story, at least deliver with the action.
Mhm.
You gotta deliver somewhere. You gotta really some of it's gotta pay off. It's either gotta be batshit crazy or I don't know. It's just, you can't just be mediocre and then suck. And and not even
I
try.
think the last half hour was starting to make up for some of it, but it ultimately doesn't.
Do you two still want to see Stallone as long as he's alive making action movies?
Well, I am excited to see him in that show on Paramount, Tulsa King, where he's playing like a mob boss. Like that could be good. I don't know about action movies. I don't know.
Well,
I think he's done enough.
He's got Expendables 4 post production, so that's definitely coming out, and he's got Guardians Volume 3 coming out as well.
To be honest with you, I like him the best in the Creed movies.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he's
he's
really
great.
good in
Oh
that.
my god, he got an Oscar nomination for the Creed
really
movie
Because he he touches a part of your soul, like all of that you've invested in that character, Rocky,
Yeah.
and then to see him that he's come out full circle, and now he's Mick, and he's the old man now, and he's this frail old dude.
He's great as Rocky. And he is that character. And we've mentioned before, like out of all of them, he's probably the better actor. Like he can act, right?
He
When he wants to.
He clearly
to.
wasn't acting
When
in
he
this one.
wants to is key. And this
It
one,
was just say Sly,
yeah.
make just a poop face the entire movie and mumble your words.
Yeah, pretend you're taking a
He
shit.
makes the weirdest faces. Say, "Have a blast," and we'll cut. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
look,
real sad.
Look, it's bad. It's bad, but there's at least it's Stallone.
At least it was that.
At least it was Stallone.
I love the gray
Like,
beard on him. Like he looks fucking badass with that beard. This age Stallone.
Well, they shot him in a way where he still looks intimidating for a fucking 76-year-old man.
Yes.
He looks either he's really big or they did really well with the
No,
camera.
they shot it that
Oh,
way.
you think so?
First of all, like everybody that was there was like 4 feet tall. Like the kid.
That's true.
Remember, like the kid that was beating up the kid was like a tiny kid.
that was a weird looking
that
kid.
with dreads. Yes, Reza.
That was a real
Oh
strange
my god!
looking
And they
kid.
all had like weird, like Persian names. There was Farshad and Reza, and I'm like, what's going on here? And they I don't know. They don't mention it. They don't, no reason.
And does anyone even explain how the bad guy, I don't even know what his name is. Cyrus gets his money. What exactly
No, it
is
doesn't
he?
matter.
Is he a drug dealer? What does he do? I don't even know what he does. How does he even created this evil empire?
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
He has dirty cops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How does he get the
How?
money?
Is he selling drugs? I don't know.
And the bombs were really weird. Like you mentioned,
What was
earlier,
with
the bombs are strange.
though? Are they supposed to kill people or take out the electricity? What was that black shit on? And why one time when the dude threw it, he didn't get killed? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah. It was
What were
just-
those bombs?
It was one of those where it was as if they had an 80s idea. They go, how about we get Stallone and we do a retired superhero movie? But they didn't realize, we this came out. We did this
We have
already.
to make this. Yeah, no, yeah, it's been made.
They're like, okay, write something around that.
I liked
And
it the
let's
first
put a
time.
kid in it. Let's make it different. We'll put a kid in it.
That's not different.
That's exactly I feel like how they came up with this with no cocaine. They just came up with it sober, which is worse.
That was the problem. This movie needs more blow.
You need blow.
All right,
you need to be up on
It
you need
does.
an 8-ball.
You need the movie. It felt like I took an Ambien throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, it was a little meandering.
It was so slow.
A little slow. And where is it going? And directionless. And I think we've said all we could say. Let's rate the fucking movie. Anthony,
Anybody who watches this movie is watching it just because Stallone's in it.
Yes.
That's all.
100%.
Yes. Is it an enjoyable? Okay, do this. Give me a rating. And is it an enjoyable Stallone movie at the least?
It's enjoyable because Stallone. He seems like he's still okay. So I hate to say this, but he's 76 years old. So I'm enjoying Stallone as much as I can.
Yeah.
With having looked back at some of his 80s and 90s movies and now getting him here, I'll always appreciate having Stallone. So that's that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is enjoyable. But this is not a good movie. My rating for this is like a 4 out of 10. It's not good. I can't sit down and recommend this movie to anybody. Especially if you don't even care about Stallone.
Right. No, then
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck enjoying this.
Yeah, you won't even give it a 4.
Yeah, that's accurate. Ruggs, what do you give it?
I'm going to say it's a 4 too. What am I supposed to say? If I rate it and
then
what?
is it a good
Is it
Stallone
an enjoyable
movie? Enjoyable
Stallone movie.
I mean, seeing that Stallone still can kick ass is fun, but is it worth watching this movie? No. So
Well, here's another great one-liner when he gets into the elevator. He goes, "Going my way." It's just horrible.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
Oh, he does, and he kicks everyone's ass in there.
Stallone has made such a huge contribution in all of our lives. He's such a big part of our growing up.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's still making movies is just something cool about that. And that's the only cool thing about this movie is that he's in it.
Yeah.
He's making movies, and it's still, these aren't direct to movie. I know you loved the direct to TV Rugs, but this is still a major studio. I think Universal was a part of this, Amazon Prime. So he's still got big studios going. Stallone still got it. Like they're still investing. So that's nice to see.
United Artists and Amazon Studios are releasing it. But it's MGM and Balboa Productions.
MGM. That's what I got.
Yeah.
When I saw the MGM line, I was like,
fuck.
This is awesome.
The MGM movie.
That's a legit
It threw
studio.
it back.
Yeah.
I let the lions roaring. We're in.
Do you know that Stallone's getting divorced from his wife?
Oh, really?
Oh, shit.
His story just came out a couple of days ago.
What's the point? You're going to die.
No. So anyway, the story is that Stallone, I don't know that this is just fragments of the story, but Stallone had gotten this Rottweiler and that caused him and his wife to start fighting.
I saw this on social medias. Yes.
Yeah. And so anyway, one of the things that happened is that he went and covered up a tattoo of his wife with Butkus.
With the dog.
From Rocky 1.
Oh.
And I think that
was it.
That was the deal breaker.
Wow. That's a sign. That's definitely selling something.
So just as this movie comes out, that story
His
breaks.
daughters are fairly attractive too, from what I remember, right?
Oh yeah, well, his wife is a supermodel.
that's
so
we went down that path. We were looking. I think we mentioned Stallone's family.
We were talking about actors' hot kids that one show.
Sage is the one that passed, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so my rating, I agree. I was really happy to see Stallone in anything. So that was one of the only highlights. And because of that last half hour burning building scene, I will give it a 5. 5.5 because of the burning building.
5.5. Jesus, it's climbing.
Maybe I don't know, somewhere around there. But that it was that. I mean, at the end, I was like, okay, at least they're trying something. But then,
so you liked it a little bit.
I liked that last half hour at the burning building. It's really it. That's all I wanted to see, and you could have not wasted my time.
I thought about giving it a 5, but the dignity I have for trying to give decent. Okay ratings.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't in good conscience. I understand.
I can't good in good
No,
conscience.
I was mad because I really love Stallone, and I really think that I wanted him to have a great movie.
This is not it.
What's also kind of sad is you touched on it, Ruggs. I'm not saying there's a masterpiece here, but there's a better movie.
Yeah.
There's snippets of what this could have been.
Yeah. With this.
Yeah, they had something that they could have worked with. They could have molded it into a better movie. Because it doesn't, if they just explain the hammer itself, maybe I would have bought into the bad guy a little bit more, Cyrus, having the hammer and being a threat. But it's just,
Or you could have done like a like a modern Western where the old cowboys got to get back on the saddle one last time type thing. They did it with Eastwood all the time. Could have done that with Stallone, with had the superhero twist on it, but
like remember in Batman when the Joker, the first Batman, Michael Keaton Batman, when the Joker like gives everyone money, like on the parade, and everybody's like, that's how he wins everybody over. Like he needed to do something like that in order for everyone to cheer for him. He just can't put the mask on and stand on a car and everyone's just like, oh yeah, well yeah, fucking, it's time for the fucking bad guy to be cheered on. It doesn't make any sense.
Don't forget, he also took away everyone's power on that block.
Yeah, it completely made no sense.
Oh, by the way, no hot water.
Oh, that's
I'm going to now stand on the car, put on a mask, and yell.
Who's not watching House of Dragons tonight?
Well, look, let's give credit where credit is due, because it's definitely a script problem. This movie was written by Bragi F. Schutt.
Okay.
And really, all the problems are...
That's definitely a fucking fake name.
He wrote
That's a pen
Escape
name
Room
for sure.
in 2019 and Ninjago.
He's been doing Stallone stuff.
Yeah.
Escape Room was a Stallone movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? Or, no, that was Escape Plans.
Escape Plan. No, this is Escape Room. I mean, it's clearly in the script writing is they just could have been better.
Script.
Maybe it got hacked to bits. I don't know.
Script cast. I mean, and we said this. Stallone doesn't even. He's
a better director for the action
It sounds
stuff.
like he's drunk throughout the movie.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's just slurred everything. Okay, good stuff. Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I got a couple of comments from our Facebook group about last week's episode. First up is a comment from Anita Frost, who I believe is our second female listener. We have two. I think we have only exactly two. And actually, all the comments in this segment are from our female listeners, of which there are exactly
very progressive.
Two. Anita, thanks for listening. So remember when we were talking about the ending of TV shows and Game of Thrones and Lost and which one was worse? Anita brings this up, and I think this is
I haven't seen. By the way, I just want to preface: I never saw Lost, so I just brought that up.
Okay, you never saw Lost, but you've heard about the whole thing, obviously, right?
I've heard,
talk about it all the time. So this tickled something with Anita Frost. She said, "What's up with the bashing of the ending of Lost in the last episode? The Game of Thrones ending is 100% worse because the showrunners stopped caring. They couldn't wait to shut it down and move on. The final product was rushed, and they constantly broke the rules they had set for themselves from the start of the show. And when hell broke loose, the showrunners fled the scene and, among other things, canceled their scheduled appearance at Comic-Con because they didn't dare to face the fans. Lindelof and Cuse created the ending they wanted, and they always stood up for themselves and faced the fans. You can like it or not, and I will admit the whole Flash sideways thing during all of the final season is a bit weird, but it was a good ending that fit their show, especially rewatching it today. I'm assuming you're not amongst the people who think they were dead the whole time. Spoilers, because that's not what the finale says at all, but a surprisingly large number of people seem to still believe that.
No, I never believed that they were dead the whole time. I just believed that they fucking were shitty writers. That's all. That's all I believed, because first 3 seasons, they had introduced all of these things, and then when you find out that the island is alive and that it has a will of its own and that, but it's powerful, but it needs a person, and it just seemed so fucking ill-conceived. I'm like, if that's what they thought of, and then and they did all this stuff to like make you look the other way or get confused, I'm like, well, fuck you.
You gotta type in random numbers every so often.
So like, yeah, no. I applaud them for like sticking by their stupid idea and defending it, but I think still sucks. Game of Thrones, yeah, those guys are cowards, and they fucking mailed it in, and they did something that's terrible too. But I think that Lost, the idea of what Lost was into the 3rd season was like that they were so much smarter than we were. And it just turned out that they were like really idiotic in their storytelling, and they had to use all of these conventions to kind of justify what they were doing. So yeah, I think, I mean, it's a tie.
I'm not sure which one is worse now, but I think it's a great discussion nonetheless, because there is a lot of similar things. The thing with Lost is maybe I've avoided rewatching it for many years because I just felt that, like, if I rewatch this, all the shit that they introduced, like the polar bear, the smoke monster, I know none of it goes anywhere. None of it amounts to shit. They were just kind of making shit up.
Like the island, the island just did whatever it wanted to.
Right, and they could just write it that way.
And it could just do whatever the fuck it wanted to. But it had all these rules that it needed the man in black, and it had a fucking dude.
Yeah, it got really weird at the end.
It was convoluted as hell.
Yeah.
You go in the water, you get healed. It's just like, to me, it's like, all right, now you're like, it's clearly that you're throwing everything at the wall here and just trying to distract people.
But the show had great moments. Like, anybody who's seen it, like, not Penny's boat was like a crazy fucking moment. I remember losing my shit at that time, and it was really sad.
Look, the actual episode making and actual, like, in the moment, it's well done. It's like one of the most well done shows ever. It was gripping and had you at the edge of your seat. I'm not taking that away from it, but when you look at it, the big picture is, what were they trying? Like, if you try to explain someone who doesn't get Lost and what it was actually about, like, that whole ending is them after they've been dead for like centuries,
right,
and then finally getting together. I'm like, because they needed to realize that they're connected to these people and they can move on to the next level of existence. But like, all right, well, I don't know.
I may have to watch it again, but it's a lot of episodes. But
it was like the Battlestar Galactica ending was like kind of like that to me. Where like where they just kind of like torpedoed the whole thing. But at least the Battlestar Galactica made sense because they were like abandoning technology because they kept on getting into this quagmire every time they developed it.
Turn on them.
You know what's going to happen again in the future in just a matter of time. So anyway, all these endings suck.
It's hard to stick the landing for a lot of time.
It really is.
It is hard.
But no, I think it's a valid point, and like
Breaking Bad's the only one that did it.
Breaking Bad had a good one, but the two shows had a similar path, and I don't know which one is worse. But fantastic discussion that's happening in the Facebook group right now, so that was fun to see.
Sure.
I want to move on to a comment from our other female listener, Lisa Morrison. Hi, Lisa. How's it going? We asked her a couple of questions during last week's show. Do you remember that, Ruggs? I think you specifically made.
I think we had important questions.
But, so here's the answer. Lisa Morrison says, Imran, Anthony, Rugboy, and any other listeners who need to know, a women's cycle is on average 28 days in length. So for most of us, it happens once a month. Should you require any further explanations about the female body, I'd be happy to do a segment on the show for you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so see, there you go. There's the margin of error right there.
It's
most of us average of 28 days. So it's possible to have your period twice a month.
So maybe you weren't inaccurate?
But you want to know what it is? Because a lot of the women that I am around always like saying, my period's coming. And it feels like they say it like every 2 days.
That's just.
It's like, is it here? Did you get it? Is it already gone? You getting it again?
Easy to get out of things.
Stop saying that you're getting it. Or it's always, they're always getting it. So
I couldn't be more grateful for Lisa for being our female expert, our official.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation.
Female expert. I appreciate the work you do.
I got nothing to say. Okay. There's nothing good about what I can say for this.
Okay, here we go. I have a question from Lisa Morrison. This is for all of us, and it ties into what are we watching. She asks in the spoiler thread for She-Hulk episode 2. She wrote, question: do the men of the nation find this show sexist or anti-male? I'm reading a lot of reviews claiming this, but I honestly don't see it. And I don't see it. And a lot of the comments in that thread, all the dudes were like, no, I love the show. I don't see it.
I don't really feel like it's anti-male. I just think that I feel like that there's stuff that they're checking boxes that they have to do. And I don't think it's anti-male. It's just the same shit that you hear. That's true all the time. But, it's just strange that like, I have this is my theory. I understand that there's mansplaining and everything like that, but I feel like that everybody gets shit explained to them all the time. Like there's not one person who like works at a job that doesn't have someone like question them all the time or does anything.
Sure.
So I feel like sometimes people just think it only happens to them. Like, oh, this happens because I think that people fucking are assholes no matter who you are. I think you probably maybe a little less. I don't know, but like I've I've had many women fucking take me fucking to task and tell me I'm an idiot all the time and question what I do. My mom being one of them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Any woman that I've ever dated, any woman that I've ever known has always fucking explained shit to me and told me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I don't know. Maybe I just am jaded. I don't know.
I mean, my mom will like tell me how to drive if she's in the passenger seat. Like I haven't been driving for 40 plus years or whatever. She'll just be like, you have to stop here. I'm like, I know. It's fine. You don't have to point out everything. Anthony, comment?
You stay away from this one too.
I think I'm gonna stay away from this one. All I'll say is I don't find the show I don't find it sexist.
No, I don't.
No,
think so.
I absolutely not. I do love that it's a superhero. It's a female superhero show by women for women, kind of, right? It's delightful. It's different. It's fresh. It's something that Marvel is definitely used to expand into.
I don't even see it. I mean, I think it is. They want it to be for women. I haven't found like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this show.
No, but
there are show things that are on TV that are more for women that I'm like, this is really not for my bag.
Right.
But this is still okay.
I mean, I watched Ally McBeal when it was
so
out,
did I.
and it was. Yeah.
I loved it. It was great.
I mean, I watched a shit ton of Clueless when I was a kid.
Oh my God, that's a great movie.
Was that a TV series?
That's
the
Paul Rudd and
Alicia.
Oh no, that you're talking about the movie.
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah,
movie's
I
great.
watched that plenty of times.
For
What's the
example,
name of the lead actress? That was
Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Well, so I told my sister, who we do the Perfect Strangers podcast, I was like, oh my God, you got to watch She-Hulk. There's only 2 episodes out. Larry Appleton's in it. And I was like, I think you'll actually enjoy it. And she doesn't watch all the Marvel movies. And she watched it. And first she had a lot of questions about Hulk. I was like, oh, it's a long story that's been set up in other movies. Don't worry about it. But she's like, that whole monologue that Jen gives about, I know how to control my anger because I have to do it every goddamn day. She goes, I love that. I really related to that. I love that. It's like from a woman's point of view. So I thought that was interesting. So, and I think it's a great job they're doing. Speaking of which, let's slide into what are we watching. I want to talk about She-Hulk episode 2. Here's the quick spoilers, though.
Spoiler alert.
Just in case. There was a couple of big highlights and things that happened here. Anthony, what did you think overall of this one?
I didn't think it was as good as the first episode. I did like it. I think the CGI was kind of not great for some reason.
Yeah.
The talking was really weird.
Yeah.
Someone, I think Screen Crush pointed out that I said this earlier about Stallone. I'm going to say it again about her character, but she looked like a Sims character walking around.
A little
at some
bit,
points.
maybe, yeah.
So the CGI needed work, but everything else was fine. I thought it was a perfectly serviceable episode in a 9-episode show. This is one of those things where it being 9 episodes, I can go, all right, fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if this was 6, I would go, what the fuck are they wasting all this time for?
Right.
It's 6 episodes. So that's my thought.
It's real short, and it kind of leaves you wanting more always, which is not
And
not
there
a
were,
bad thing.
as you mentioned, there were some teases with Hulk and all sorts of other stuff. So there you go.
I mean, the first highlight for me was meeting Jen's dad, fucking Mark Lynn Baker, as Larry Appleton. I was like, "Yes, fucking look at him. There's Larry." I
Where
love
all the arrows go.
I
Does
love
he go
how
out and collect them?
He just wants to know about how back to Hawkeye's arrows. Does he go? I love that. That was pretty funny. What happens to the arrows?
Right.
Ruggs, what'd you think about episode 2?
It was fine. I mean, my biggest issue with it was Blonsky and whether he was telling the truth or not. And whether rewriting history there. Because I feel like in the movie, he was kind of like more sinister and he wanted the power.
So it's
right?
been a while. He seems to be into yoga and shit, and he's reformed. I buy it.
Namaste.
No, I'm saying like his argument for getting out, like, is that he was following orders and it was only doing in the movie. Didn't he like kind of?
I think he's doing
force them.
I think he's just playing that up. I think I don't think he believes that. I think he's had time in a cell and thought of a way.
I thought that was great though, where he's like, "Your government pumped me full of drugs, and then to take out a threat under their orders." But where he goes, "I thought I was the good guy. Where's the justice in that?" I was like, "Fuck." He kind of has a point there.
I mean, every villain thinks they're the hero in their own story.
Yeah. And I mean, he would have thought he was the hero. And he also keeps mentioning that he wants to start a group with 7 cellmates. I think he says cellmates. Is this the Thunderbolts? Is that what he's talking about?
I think that's what they're getting at. I think he's going to be in the Thunderbolts.
And this is Jen's first case, which is great. So the couple of other crazy things that, and stuff I like. I love that Jen can't shut the fuck up. Reminds me of myself. She just keeps going, and people are like, "Well, and they can't get a word in." That's great. She gets named She-Hulk by the dude on the TV, which is kind of funny. And she gets a new job now. First Easter egg, when she's scrolling for work on the webpage on her computer, there's a couple of articles on the side which are very telling. They give us another mutant tease. The one headline says, "Man fights with metal claws in a bar brawl." Is this Wolverine? Just like how Miss Marvel gave us a little mutant tease, I was like, oh shit. And then I love the second headline that says, "Why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean?" Someone finally has paid attention to the end of the Eternals.
Yep.
That was great. And the ad above it for the shoes is also great. It says Iron Man 3s, like fucking Jordans. They're Iron Man. It's great.
I didn't catch that. I caught the other two, but I didn't catch that.
So, what do you think about the tease of the Wolverine tease? Is that fun for you guys?
I think it's just fun.
Yeah. The show is just, you know what it is.
Yeah.
They're just trying to have some fun. They're acknowledging all the things that people have been thinking about for a while, and they're just having fun with those things without actually really addressing them. You got at the end, I'll take this thunder from you.
Let's get to this one.
Where She-Hulk is discussing with Banner. Banner, they're talking about way back in the day, and Banner goes, I was a different person back then, literally. Obviously acknowledging that Edward Norton was playing the Hulk when he was in conflict with Abomination, and then even She-Hulk looks at the screen like, yep.
She looks at the screen and goes, "Ha!" And I was like, "Oh, that's fun." I was another person.
Yeah, she got the joke.
Yeah, I love her fourth wall breaking. We see that more. It's a lot of fun. And then yes,
throw that in.
Yes, the big reveal is the camera pulls back, and she's like, "Can we meet?" And he's like, "I'm gonna be kind of busy." Camera pulls back. He is in that spaceship that crash from the first
Sakaran
episode,
spaceship.
the Sakaar spaceship, voluntarily. Also, it doesn't look like he was forced to go. And then they just shoot off into fucking hyperspace. Holy shit!
Oh shit!
Yeah, there goes.
Where is he going? There goes the Hulk.
There he goes for the rest of the show.
That's it.
He's gone.
He's gone. They wrote him out of the show.
Where?
There's rumors that they're going to do a World War Hulk movie, and that Universal's rights, I think, end after 2023, so they can finally produce their own movie.
Oh my god!
Marvel, and maybe they'll do a World War Hulk, or perhaps go back to Sakaar and introduce the fact that he fucked and had scars there.
This Hulk fucks.
Yeah,
definitely not a virgin. Yeah, so I heard that. Also, the articles were bringing up. Remember, he was the Maestro, old Hulk. I never read that. I don't know what that storyline's about. But
no, the Maestro is not. That is him, but it's a version of the Hulk that quickly gained his basically took control of his powers and used it for bad.
Oh.
So it's
so there's like there's the fully formed Hulk where he's got all of his strength and all of his mental abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the version that we have of the Hulk now is like he's slightly smaller. He doesn't have his full strength, because I think that, and the Maestro is like the old version that becomes evil. That's the fully restored, fully on all cylinders Hulk, like with Banner's intelligence and Hulk's full strength.
But a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think we will ever see He-Hulk return to Rage Hulk station?
Savage Hulk?
Yeah, Savage Hulk. Like, will we ever see him fucking just, let his rage flow?
Well, I mean, that's the fun. That's fun.
Yeah, they might do. I mean, there's a lot of people that think Hulk has been nerfed a little bit, which is kind of true. In terms of just the overall character, because now he doesn't get angrier as he gets stronger. I saw a rumor online, I think it might have been Screen Crush or maybe New Rockstars, but they basically go, now that you've acknowledged somewhat Edward Norton, maybe he makes a call to Edward Norton, does a Hulk versus Hulk type thing.
What?
Maybe you make Edward Norton the Maestro.
Oh shit! Oh,
Alternate
multiverse of Hulk, or a different universe.
version.
Oh my god!
There's no way Edward Norton's going to be involved.
Yeah, he seems too.
He's bitter about it.
Yeah, but what's he doing these days? I haven't seen him in a movie.
But
in a while.
who knows how big Feige's checkbook is? Maybe the old cash. get him back in the door.
Green for green.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing that was confusing is at the end, the cliffhanger is that Abomination has escaped, but they're showing, they say this Fight Club footage has leaked, and it's footage from Shang-Chi. But when is this? Is this footage just old, or is this happening during Shang-Chi, and that's where he went?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that tracks.
I think what Ruggs is saying.
Their old timeline that they had.
So that's
before shit got moved around.
Wong's going to show up, and he's going to have to. Maybe he explains. Look, I borrowed him for this thing, or something. I don't know, because I was like, is this happening during Shang-Chi or not?
They cut the scene where he turns into Abomination in the cage.
But maybe
that
that's
was in the trailers.
But maybe that's in another episode.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It doesn't need to be in that. Here's the scene they did change. I found this article. Jamila Jamil was on Jimmy Fallon last week.
You would look into this because you gave her no love last week, even though she's basically your cousin.
She's bad. We're all related, all the Pakistanis.
Yeah.
She shared a deleted scene, which I'm surprised Marvel let her share this, of that fight from the end of episode 1. And in one take, she was actually going to get punched in the vagina.
Oh,
You
shit.
see her flying back, grabbing her crotch on wires. And they changed that. But she goes, her quote was like, and we've never seen a woman just socked right in the vagine, and I believe in equality. She goes, I felt that we've seen men kicked in the balls for such a long time, but you never see women get punched in the vagine.
Yeah, you got to get...
Hey, I'm all for equality. Let's start putting some of that in there.
Yeah, cunt punch. Let's do it.
Oh, shit.
So, anyways, that didn't make the cut, but I'm enjoying the show. 2 episodes in, I can't wait for the cameos. There's potential for like so many Easter eggs. We still got Daredevil, Wong, all these people showing up.
We've got 7 more episodes.
7 more episodes. Okay, let's move on to the other fucking show that everybody is watching. Another 10 million episodes on 10 million viewers. Reported on episode 2 of House of Dragon. Have you guys watched I watched it. You watched
I've
both
only
of them?
seen the first episode.
Okay, you watched the first episode. Okay, let's talk about the second episode. I mean,
What? I just saw the first
I meant the first episode. I do want to say,
fucking asshole.
I'm going to mention one thing about the second episode is that they put in a proper credit scene, which is pretty dope, with like bloodlines of the Targaryens, and they used the original music too. It's just like they didn't even bother making a new sound, a new opening score, which is fine. I love that music. The first episode didn't have any kind of opening credits. So let's talk about the first episode. Anthony, what did you think?
First episode, I loved it.
Yeah. Nice.
Legitimately, by the end, I went, we back, baby.
I fucking
We
loved
back.
it.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is
We
back.
we back. We
Yeah,
back.
Absolutely.
At least for one episode, I felt like a 15-year-old boy again watching Game of Thrones, seeing all them naked women and people getting cut up.
Spoiler alert. Holy shit. The fucking medieval C-section cut with the
jeez.
jousting. I could not watch that. Like, I literally
bad.
I took my glasses off so everything was blurry, and I was like, oh my God, she's fucking screaming. And the way it was cut with that joust was brilliant.
Yeah, it was porn at that point.
Oh my God. It was
horror porn.
Yeah. Rutz, what'd you think of it so far?
Thought it was good. I was like, okay, we're back in shape now. Let's see how they fuck this up.
Well, the first episode is directed by Miguel Sapochnik, who did the Battle of the Bastards and a lot of the big battle episodes. The second episode doesn't have a lot of action, but it's a lot of good fucking Game of Thrones drama.
But Thrones wasn't built around the action.
It wasn't. But they give it to you in the first one. They give you a little bit of everything, right, in that first episode.
First episode gives you everything you want from Thrones. You get boobies.
Yep.
You get this. You get lying and family discord, family shit. You get
dragons.
Weird dragons. You get people's arms and stuff getting cut off. You get everything you need in Game of Thrones. Violence.
He chopped his dick off. That was his dick, right?
And you get good performances, and that's all you really need.
I love.
And that dude Matt Reeves, right?
Matt Smith.
Not Matt Reeves.
Matt
What's
Smith.
the kid?
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith has a very hateable face.
As
so
Damon.
it's perfect.
He plays a great dick. Like, that guy's gonna be a problem. I love to hate him already. Even the touches of like when they were jousting and like when they get to the end and they got to grab another stick from the kid and come back. Like, he just knocks his assistant over with the horse. He fucking turns and knocks him down. I was like, what a dick he is.
Yeah, I'll watch the second episode and try to get the third in before the next show.
Okay, I think we would.
I just didn't have enough time yesterday watching a couple things, which I can talk about here.
Okay, I think we definitely need to review this season when it's over because I fucking loved both episodes so far.
Yeah, we'll review it when it's over. We don't need to review it episode by episode.
All right, good. Yeah, no, it's back. It was fantastic. Second episode. What do you think of the second episode, Rugs? Also good?
Also good.
Yeah.
I really don't have a negative
Yeah, it's back, baby.
criticism at this point. There's still, I mean, look, the first episode did its job. It got me back in. I'm all aboard. I know all the characters, what their machinations are. I know, okay, this is setting everything up. And then the second episode, there's an interesting development that now makes the situation, you don't know why it takes place, but like you're like, oh, this kind of is complicated now.
It's getting good. All right. What else have you been watching, Anthony's?
Well, in addition to watching Samaritan yesterday, I also watched John Woo's U.S. debut with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Hard Target.
Oh, Hard Target. Nice.
Yeah. Set in Louisiana with Lance Henriksen as the bad guy and the guy from South Africa. It's a John Woo movie. It's
John
good.
Woo's great. I love his over-the-top fucking crazy action scenes. They're fantastic.
I mean, you've got Jean-Claude Van Damme gunning people down and then roundhouse kicking them in the face. What more can you want?
Does he do the
With a mullet.
Does he do the
With a
splits in this one?
No, but he does the jumping, turning kick, and he just gunning people in the chest, and then as they're about to fall over, he roundhouse kicks them.
Is this the one where is he?
Great Chuck
is he,
Norris.
He's standing on a motorcycle in this one.
He does.
Yeah,
stand
that's
on a
that one.
motorcycle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lots of doves, lots of slow mo. They do the scene where him and one of the villains are back to back, talking to one another, loading their guns, and then turn around and start shooting. It's all great. John Woo's
that's very John Woo.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's very John.
And you
Woo.
throw in Jean-Claude Van Damme doing it. It's just Jean-Claude was one of my heroes, just like Stallone. He's got a mullet. I had a mullet. Like, there's so many good things about this.
Did he have two guns at one point? He always John Woo's always got to have the two guns, jumping in the
you
air,
gotta have
shooting.
The two guns. Yeah. It's just great. I mean, it's by if you're actually measuring it, it's not a great movie, but it's great.
But
it's just fucking great.
Absolutely belongs in the '90s term.
It belongs.
Tournament.
It's just so good.
It's a special kind of great.
Yeah.
It's not great by the measure of it. Is it a good film?
No.
But it has to make you feel, though.
It makes you feel. It has personality. And Jean-Claude is a star. Lance Henriksen's a star. The guy that plays a South African villain, he's great. The woman character is nice to look at, and the terrible actress. Like, it's just great.
Oh, I forgot about Wilford Brimley's in this, too.
Oh, yeah, he's in there.
Yeah. I recommend anyone that hasn't seen it to watch. I recommend you guys if you haven't seen it in a while.
I'll be rewatching all of the Van Dammes very, very soon for our '90s.
I can't wait till you watch Double Impacting.
And Jean-Claude, they always have to figure out. Some movies they don't figure out how to incorporate his accent.
Yeah,
this one they do a pretty good job actually.
They try.
He's from New Orleans, so they kind of do the French thing.
Oh yeah,
and he's got a Cajun uncle, so he's basically Cajun, but he still has a French Belgian accent.
They sound like that down there too.
Yeah,
so.
they kind of sound like that. He's got an uncle that shoots arrows. It's just
Oliver.
It's a dangerous. The movie's a dangerous game with Jean-Claude Van Damme doing John Woo stuff.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice. Rugs, you watch anything aside from all that stuff?
I watched Sandman.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, all of the Adam Sandler, the whole thing.
Not Adam Sandler. Okay, spoiler. What did you think of the Sandman?
I think it had its moments where I was like, oh, they really brought this comic book to life. I'm like, they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And then there was times I was like, not really. But like overall, I feel like it had good moments and enough mystery. I don't know. I know they did it in the comic book, but like the rock, paper, scissors match that Dream has with Satan, it's kind of like a huge letdown.
Yeah, that was okay. What was
like we're gonna play rock, paper, scissors. This beats that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, this is not a fight. Yeah, this is
what was
not
your favorite episodes out of this?
You want to know? My favorite episode was the one where the fucking guy goes to the diner.
That one is great. John D with the Ruby 24/7.
I like the first episode. I like the episode of where Dream has to go and talk to this guy every 100 years.
Bob Gadling. That was my favorite. Where it's two issues.
Yeah.
It's where he where we meet Death for the first time, and that's like that whole conversation, feeding the birds, all straight from the comics, and then he just follows around Death as she gently takes souls. And then the second half is that episode where he meets this dude Hobgatling in 1300 medieval somewhere, and this guy's like, I'm not gonna die, I'm gonna cheat Death, and Dream decides to let him live and meet every 100 years, hoping that the guy goes, please kill me, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
that was great. Did you watch the 11th episode? The bonus?
I did.
I kind of like that one with the Night of a Thousand Cats and Calliope.
Calliope was cool.
Calliope was good.
But the cat one was like a waste of time. I was like, who gives a shit about this cat?
These are like classic filler issues between like the big story arcs, right?
Yeah, that's why Sandman always escaped me, because they would do stupid shit like that. Yeah, and then I would be like, well, I don't care about this. And then let's get back to the story. But yeah, I always felt like Death was strange, because like she got a pass because she was hot in the comic books, and she looked like a goth chick that you'd meet at a New York bar,
right?
But in this one, she doesn't resemble that, and not only that, but then you realize when she stripped that away, and you're not like, looking at her as an object. You realize that her job is stupid. Like she has to be in a million places at once.
Well, for everybody dying.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. Like Dream, he's a realm, he has a whole realm.
Right.
But like Death, like being this person that just escorts people to the afterlife, one by one. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like they should at least had like a million versions of her existing at the same time or something like that. That would be cool.
Sure. No, but it's the essence of the character is there, where she's
no. All of the acting and stuff was great. But
she's just like, I want people to have a friendly face as the last face they see, and for it to be a gentle transition. I think the one-off stories just add more details to the world and the characters and the world building. So I've always enjoyed those. Hopefully they get a second season, because it looked like an expensive show.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually quite pleased with some of the visuals.
The guy playing Dream he was good. I thought he did the job.
Fine.
Right, he did the job. And the Corinthian, Boyd Holbrook,
I started doing the Dream voice around the house.
Oh, yes.
I started talking I was like, hey, he talks like this. Welcome to the dreaming.
It's creepy.
Yeah, that's what he talks like.
All right, I'm glad you got to watch that. I still want to do some kind of review or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Other people are watching it too in the nation. I noticed. It's great. And read the comic if you haven't.
I think it's good. I think it's recommendable. I think it's definitely
recommendable.
Yeah, recommendable. But not everyone's going to like it. If you don't like slow moving shit that doesn't make sense, then don't watch this.
Well, I mean, there is the first two episodes, he is a prisoner and doesn't say anything. So like I said, it starts out a little slow, but it builds to a thing. But yeah, it's definitely, it involves some investment, but it pays off, I think, ultimately.
I don't think, you have to like this shit to watch it. You have to like this type of stuff. You have to be into Black Mirror or something like that.
Or, Yeah. Okay, let's I just want to finish up by mentioning some things that are out this week and things that are happening. They are re-releasing Spider-Man No Way Home this weekend. They're calling it Spider-Man No Way Home: The More Fun Stuff. Yay. This Friday, September 2nd, it has 11 minutes of extra footage. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Is it worth going back to the theater? Well, I don't know.
No, because it's fun stuff.
It's more fun stuff.
It's just fun stuff.
Well, here's Anthony, would you go back for 11 minutes extra footage, Spider-Man No Way Home?
No, probably not. I saw the movie 3 or 4 times in the theater, though.
I saw it. Okay. I saw it twice. Well, this may sweeten the deal. You can combine this with, I didn't know this was happening, Saturday, September 3rd, this weekend is National Cinema Day. The cinema's got a day, but there are about 3,000 movie theaters across the country, Regal and AMC being part of this, that will be having $3 movie tickets.
Oh, shit.
$3. You could go watch Spider-Man No Way Home, extra footage, $3. Because this is the doldrums of the movie releases and nothing is really coming out right now or for a while. Would you go back for $3 movies right now?
I'll buy that for $3.
I'll buy that for $3.
I don't know.
You could go see Top Gun Maverick again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll go to the movies for $3. Why not?
Anthony, would you take advantage of this, even though there's not much out? Is the thing.
$3?
Yeah, $3 no holla.
I'll find something to watch.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, probably not.
I would go see Bullet Train for $3, maybe.
Yeah, Bullet Train. I'll watch that.
Yeah, but I wonder if this will help. How busy it will be. But fine. Look, if you're looking for something to do, Saturday $3 movies. Now, also on September 2nd, the official battle of the fantasy prequels is going to begin because Amazon is releasing Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings prequel, September 2nd. They put out another story trailer that follows Galadriel, and she talks about her brother and what the whole thing is. But this is now going to go up against House of Dragon, which is really good, as we've just established. But this is the most expensive TV show ever made. First season budget, about $500 million.
Right.
So I heard the first first two episodes are kind of slow because they got to set up a lot of shit. But I am super curious as to what $500 million can buy you on a TV show.
I feel like it's probably going to end up being an interesting watch, but I don't think it's going to have a chance
against House of Dragon. Really?
No.
Because the visuals in this trailer, like the fucking landscape, the visual looks amazing. Looks amazing.
It doesn't matter. Like, whoever's got this set up on Game of Thrones, they got you by the balls within the first 15 minutes of this thing.
How did the dragons look to you guys on the thrones?
They didn't look. They looked all right. There was even when there was the practical one that looked really bad.
Oh, the real one looked the worst.
Remember when Matt Smith is trying to he's up against the real dragon.
Yeah.
He's bites face. I'm like, that doesn't match at all. Like what it's supposed to look like, and it looked bad.
Yeah.
But that probably won't happen on Lord of the Rings. It'll probably be way more polished than that.
Yeah.
But I sincerely doubt they're gonna nail it as good as they nail. I think that the Game of Thrones people, they knew it worked, and they knew that they had to come out strong because of all the bad blood that they've created with their shitty ending. So I think they came in guns a-blazing. So if they can maintain it, that'll be great. But this Lord of the Rings thing's got a lot of work to do to even make a dent. That's what I think.
Anthony, early reactions to what the critics have seen have been very positive. Are you in any way interested in a $500 million season of television?
For Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
No. I haven't even seen all the Lord of the Rings. I didn't even like the first Lord of the Rings. You made me watch it.
You wouldn't check this out at all.
I mean, if I watched the other two Lord of the Rings and I got on board, then maybe, but
I don't think you need to.
I don't think you need to either. Right. It is going to be its own thing.
Yeah, but you know that there's going to be things that I would have really understood if I watched Lord of the Rings.
But if the show is made well, it shouldn't hinder entertainment. You need to make this as if the person hasn't made it and has seen it.
I don't know. I just haven't. There's not very many things where I've started the prequel without seeing the actual thing before.
Okay.
And
fair enough. Yeah.
I would just, Lord of the Rings. I mean, it was just them walking around with that fucking ring on a mountain.
There was a lot of walking with the ring. Yes, this was my main complaint. It's
I
you're
should
just
watch.
Walking.
Let me preface by saying I haven't seen the other two, which are really good. One I think won an Oscar.
Yeah, the third one.
And when I watched the first one, I watched it on my laptop, so it was probably the worst cinematic experience you could have.
Peter Jackson is just fuming right now.
Yeah,
come kill you.
So
look, the trailer looks interesting. I'm going to watch the first episode because I want to see all this money and stuff. But I don't know. It just seems too much into this fantasy. I don't know if it's going to get me. I don't know if I'm going to.
Prime is really banking on this.
They are.
I don't know how. I don't know how budget. First of all, I don't know how budget really is going to make the show better.
No, it's not. Obviously,
if they don't have a good story.
Yes, if they can't get you interested and not lose you, I'm just afraid they're going to lose me. I'm going to be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about these elves and whatever. I don't know. But Rings, right now, they're telling a great story. It's focused. You can follow it. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of Targaryen names, but it's not too crazy. I mean, House of Dragon. House of Dragon is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
House of Dragon.
I like how he's sculpting a little concrete King's Landing in his King Viserys in his room.
You know his fucking days are numbered.
Dude, did that dude pimp his daughter out to him?
Yeah.
Right? He's over there and he goes, "Wear your mother's dress." I was like,
"Oh,
what?
was that his daughter?"
Yes,
he was pimping her out, right?
Yeah, the Viserys' hand of the king
And
his daughter.
And the daughters seem to have like a little lesbian thing going on, huh?
Yes, those two, Rhaenyra and her, were very close, and they're holding hands, and I thought there was a thing going on there. So there's a thing that happens in the second episode that throws that whole thing crazy, makes it go crazy, even more crazy. So
wow.
Yeah, very good. Okay, all right, good stuff. We're going to end it right there, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me online at Really Rug Boy on Twitter. Come give me a follow.
There's a link to that right in our show description, listener, or you can go to jockandnerd.com/450 to see how to support the show, how to get in touch, how to join the group, all that fun stuff, and share the show. It's the most important thing you could do. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We will peep you next time. Peeps.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Play all the drops.
Jock and Nerd.